Hi everyone, it's Linda from Perfectly Paralegal. So in this little short tutorial, I wanted to show you guys how to um, use Adobe Acrobat Split by Bookmarks to reorganize medical records to put them into chronological order. So as we know, a lot of times we have sets of medical records and sometimes it looks like they threw them on the ground, mixed them up, and then tried to put them back together and the dates are all messed up, or maybe there's medical records from different providers that are commingled in together and so on. So you can use this method to separate any document. So even if you had maybe, discovery responses and you had a report followed by some pictures, followed by some medical records, you can put obviously any type of bookmark you want to put, whatever name you want to put, and then you can split. So if you have one PDF that's 500 pages and you have 10 different documents, you could do like extract page numbers and make new files with that. Or you can just go through and put bookmarks, and then you give the bookmark the name you want the file to have. And then once you're done, you do split by bookmark, and it'll just make the PDFs for you, and it can be a lot easier. So the way that we do this with medical records is you do the bookmarks and you put the date of the medical record. So that way, when it exports them to separate files, you can simply put the files in chronological order, and then you can recombine to PDF. And then now you have a set of medical records in the chronological order that you want them to be in. The other thing that you can do is sometimes you have multiple, of duplicate records. So you can give them the same names with like a 1, a 2, a 3. And then when you export them to PDF, what I would do is go through and look at the ones that have a 1, a 2, or a 3 or something, just to see that they're multiple records for the same date, and then look and see if any of them are duplicates. And then you can just delete them from there. So you keep your original set, with all the pages intact, but you delete them once you split by PDF. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So first of all, just to be fully transparent, these are my medical records. They are partially redacted. If I forgot to redact something, please do not steal my identity. Ha ha ha. But these are medical records that I use all the time for demo purposes. Like if I'm doing demos like with my students or in CLEs or something like that, or if I'm doing demos with AI, I use my own medical records. So I'm not obviously putting someone else's information out there into the world. Okay, so what we're going to do is I like to keep it with the little page view on the side to make it easy to navigate between the documents. So basically what you want to do is go to the first page of each document and create a bookmark with the date. So it could be a 3-page report, it could be a 1-page prescription, whatever you have. So basically, if you put a bookmark on page 1 and then nothing on page 2, nothing on page 3, and then a bookmark on page 4, this will tell it, okay, this first bookmark is 3 pages, if that makes sense. So then when it exports the bookmark, it'll do the preceding pages up until the next bookmark. So I like to have it on this page view so I can easily flip between pages. This is a 3-page report, so the date is not on the first page. So I can easily click on the third page to see the date. It's going to be 2020-06-03. So I go back to page 1, and then you can click here to create the bookmark, but you can also just do Control B. Okay, so this is 2020-06, I think I said 06-03. We'll go back to page view. So we don't have to do one on page 2. We don't have to do one on page 3. Now we go to page 4. This is a prescription. So we do Control B, and it's 2010-07-02. We go to the next page. So this one's just a little bit tricky just because it's instructions. And so they probably provided it at a doctor's appointment, but since I don't have it attached to the doctor's appointment record, I'm just going to use the follow-up appointment date, and I'll put that for the bookmark. So I'll do 2010-07-07. Okay. This one is 2010-07-22. The next one is also 2010. Oh no, this one's 2010-07-07. 07-07. I'm going to put a 1, so I know this is another, so this is, 2 different ones from the same date. 2010-07-02. I know I already have one of those up here, so I'm going to add a 1 to this as well. The only thing that's annoying is you can have bookmarks with the same name, but when you go to export them, if you have bookmarks with the same name, it cannot create a PDF with the same name, right? Because when it creates this one, 2010-07-02, that's fine because it's not a duplicate. But then when it gets to this one and it tries to create a second PDF called 2010-07-02, you're going to get an error message. So you'll know then when that happens, whoops, I need to go back and add a 1 or something. So it could be a 1, it could be this one, let's see. Well, we can already tell from this that this is a duplicate. So you could even put in the bookmark, if you wanted to, you could put dupe, and then you know this is the one that you're going to delete. If they weren't duplicates, like let's say, let me see if these two are duplicates. These are not duplicates. So you could even put here, so you already know, you could put like receipt 1 and then receipt 2 or something like that. However it works for you. Like you don't want to create a bunch of extra work for yourself with the naming, but because this is such a small amount of records, I can easily see, for example, that these are duplicates. Sometimes you could have hundreds of pages and it may get hard to, go back and forth. So I would just add like a -1, -2, -3, whatever. And if you forget to do that, like you don't realize, oh, I've already had one with this date. When you go to split by PDF, it's going to give you an error message. And then oh, I already have one, so I got to add a -1 or something to that one. So that's fine. So let's just do a couple more. This one is, we already know this is a duplicate. So actually what I can do is, since I know that there's obviously a double set of these records, because that's a duplicate, this page is a duplicate, this one is a duplicate, so is this one, so is this one. And it looks like it's actually in here 3 times. Okay, so we don't need to add another bookmark for each one of these pages. We could just skip them. And then, okay, here's another, this is the next record that's not a duplicate. So we're going to put a bookmark, and this is, let's see, date processed 2023 10/31. Okay, then this one is part of that, so we don't need to do anything there. This is all part of the same record. Bookmark 2013-08-06. This is the same, 2013-08-06. Same. This is, so it's page 4 of 7, so there's probably going to be 7 pages. 2013-08-12. Okay. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I think you guys get the idea. So you just go to each page, you give it a bookmark. So you don't, if you have duplicates and you're going to take out that entire chunk, you don't have to put a bookmark for each one. Just put a bookmark at the beginning, and then, when you get to the next one that's a new one, go ahead and put the bookmark there. So now what you're going to do is you're going to split it. So we'll do split, and then we're going to do by bookmarks. So we're doing split by top level bookmarks, which is what they are. The other option you have is by file size. So that's helpful if you are trying to email it to someone maybe and it's too big. You could tell it, okay, the maximum file size can be 5 megs, and then it'll automatically make as many, sections as it needs. Or you can do pages. So I can only put 100 pages at a time. It'll divide it, by 100 pages for as many files as it needs. So we're going to do top level bookmarks. We're going to do output options. So let's see, we're going to use bookmark name for file name, and then we'll hit split. So you'll see it says the document has been successfully split into 10 documents. Okay. So now if we pop over to the downloads folder, here is the list of documents. So you'll see here we have our set that's duplicate. So that's 10 pages, and I can just go ahead and delete that. So it's still going to exist in the master record, but in the split documents, which are going to be kind of our finished product, we can just delete that from there. The other thing you can do is, because of the way that we've named it, you can just super easily put it into date order. So you want the oldest first, or you want the newest first, you decide. And then once you have it in the order that you want, you just will select everything and then combine them back into a PDF. And so you can just double check here the order. It's in the same order from the folder, right? Because we put them in the order that we wanted. Now, if you had multiple things on the same date, if you wanted to change the order, you could do that here. You can just drag them around to have it in whatever order you need. Now, the other thing that you can do here is if you want to keep the bookmarks, you can do options, and then where are the bookmarks? Always add bookmarks. So what it's going to do is it's automatically going to add bookmarks with the file name if you want to. So there may be a benefit to that. You may not want that because this is kind of almost your working notes, right? So you might not want it to say receipt one or whatever notation you kind of put for yourself in order to help you organize it. You might not want that there. So you might say, no, I don't want to add the bookmarks. So hit OK, and then we'll combine them. And so you'll see now it's 29 pages instead of the original one was 39 pages because we deleted that one set of duplicates. And now you'll see it's in a different order, right? So if we go back to our original set of documents, the first one was the surgical report, right? So this was page 1. Now, if we go back to our combined documents, the first page is the 2010 prescription for the CAT scan. So you'll see everything is in a different order now. So hopefully this was helpful. And again, you can use this to divide anything, right? If you had, a bunch of photographs or any type of documents, you just put the bookmarks, you put whatever you want the file name to be on the bookmarks, and then you export by bookmarks, and then choose, use the bookmark name as the file name.